Hi everyone, and welcome to C++ lecture 10 with Junior. Alright, in this lecture 10, we are continuing with the functions now, describing all the functions. We're describing now a non-receiving function call and a non-returning function header. Alright guys, I'm going to describe a non-receiving function call together with a non-returning function header. Remember, as I said in the previous lecture, that a non-receiving function works with a non-returning function. Because this is a non-returning function, then it will work with a non-receiving function. But then a receiving function call, it will work with a returning function header. Alright, so now here we're emphasizing the ones that the other is not returning and the other is not waiting to receive anything from its header because it's not returning anything. Alright, so without wasting any time, here are the notes, guys. As I've promised you guys that I'll always have a notepad here to try to highlight the notes that I think are necessary for you to go through them as you go into coding. I know many will be like, let's just go into coding, but it's good to have the theory, because it's the theory that helps us actually to come with the correct logic in terms of when we are programming. Alright, a non-receiving function call has no variable assigned to it. In most cases, this is how you identify a non-receiving function call in your main function. Alright, simply it will be seen as you just have a function name, and then now you'll have your list of arguments, or you might have an argument, only one, you might have many arguments, or you might not even have any arguments at all. But then the idea is that here you won't have an assignment here. This function call won't be assigned to anything, to see that actually there's nothing that is waiting to be received. Alright, function name can be any chooser name. This is the explanation that I had on the previous one, so I just copied to put it here for you guys to see that actually these are the same thing, so that you can spot only the difference between what we explained on the last lecture and this lecture. Right, so the function name can be any chooser name. Alright, argument is or are always found on the function call. Alright, two types of argument, that is reference. I explained the reference, and then we call by we call by variable name inside the function call. E.g., you might have assume you have an integer I declared, an integer P declared, and then now this is how our function call is going to look like. Alright, when you're using the reference, here I is our variable name, so that's why we have a product, and then we have I. Alright, and then you might even have P, you might have P here also. This will be list of arguments. Alright, so now our arguments are two integers, but as you can see here, there is no assignment to our function call, so that means this function call is a non-receiving type. Remember, we're talking about a function call, so that's why I say non-receiving type. Okay, it can be seen that the product is the name of our function, and I and P are our arguments. Right, remember I just changed that now, guys, so bear with me. Are our arguments, right? Okay, and now the second type of arguments, which is a value type arguments. Alright, where we call by a value inside. You can call by a value or variable name. Here you have two choices, guys. Variable name inside the function call. Alright, on call by value, actually it was meant that we should, in our function call, we should always have a value here, but it will still work even if you have a variable name inside. So you might even have this one of this kind, and then being identified as call by value. So let me just write it here. You might have product, and then you might have P within this. It will still be a correct function call with the name, variable name here. Alright, so this works for both direction. You might do might put a literal value, or you might put a storage reference, which is a variable name. But then for this one of reference, you will never have a value. You'll always have a variable name. All right, you'll always have a variable name. Okay, so now a non-returning function header can be described as follows. You'll first say void. Remember on the previous one, here is where you're going to have your data types, but then for a non-returning function header, all right, now I'm describing a function header. I'm done with the function call here. Now here I'm describing a function header. A function header, a non-returning one, you'll always have a void. You'll have this is void, then you'll have function name, and then you'll have your list of parameter. You might have a parameter or parameters, or not even a parameter, but then you'll have these brackets for your function header. All right, and mind you, we don't terminate here because this is now our function header, not our function call. We only terminate our function call, right? Because it's a statement, it's a calling statement. So once you see the word void, once I tell you that the function is not returning anything, you know that it has to be void. Or maybe on your question they might not explicitly say not returning anything. If they are not talking about returning, you know that it has to be void. Then you write your function followed by a function name, then now parameter, the parameters that you'll be dealing with, and then it might be many parameters or might be 0 parameter depending on your function call. All right, okay, so here are important things to note. Okay, note guys, non-returning function headers, function header or function headers, okay, always, that's why I wrote this always in uppercase, always have void as their definition. Remember what is here, this is a definition. All right, if there was an integer, we know that the definition is an integer, so that it's going to return an integer. So but then this is a void, meaning it's not returning anything. All right, and then another thing to note, whenever you see void, one should know that it's a non-returning function. Simple as that. Don't have to stress yourself. Inside that function header, you are not going to write return something. You're not going to write the statement return inside that function header. All right, so now the same example as the previous lecture on lecture 9. all right, but then it has been changed there and a bit, because the one for lecture 9, it was the question was addressing that you should return the calculation. So now let's read this one. Write a program that takes an integer as an input and pass it to the header function to double it and display it. So now here we're just going to double the argument that is passed to us, and then we display it within. It then means we display it within the function header. We're not going to return it to the main, right? And then the name of function is named double num. All right, now quickly I'll go to my code block without taking any minutes. Then this is the code for the previous lecture. You guys can go and then check again the previous lecture on lecture 9, and then you see the returning function and the right non-returning function. So now here, now we are I quickly created a project. I suppose you guys, for the way we are so far now, I assume now you all know how to create a project. All right, so now this is a non-returning function.cpp.c++. all right, non-returning function. All right, quickly now you include your derivatives, include your IOStream, then using namespace, using namespace standard. All right, now we always start with the main, int main, and then in our main function. All right guys, now we are in our main function, and then the idea, oh, let me zoom so that everyone can see, even those with smaller monitor will be able to see. I suppose this is good enough. All right, now we are in our main function guys. We have to write a program that has an integer, int variable. Let's just say int variable is, let's give it is number. All right, then now we just declare it without initialization, and then now let's again, as I've always requested, that it's always nice to communicate with the user of your program. Now we'll request the user to enter their number, right? Please enter integer value of your choice, integer value of your choice. All right, then now we have requested the user to enter an integer value of their choice. This is a message that will be displayed to the user because this goes with the console C output. And then you say please enter integer value of your choice, and then now you can come in, have the input. Now input is associated with variable number that has been declared. So now here they say we are going to write a program that has a function that passes an integer value to a header, and then so that the header can display it. All right, so now they say the name of the function is what? Let me go to the notepad. The name of the function is double num. So here now we're just going to have double, all right, double num, and then now here what do I pass on double num? I'm passing my variable, all right, and then I terminate outside. So now as I was explaining now on the difference between a receiving and non-receiving type of a function. So the name of the function here is double num, and then the argument is what? Is number. How many arguments? Is only one. Then we terminate here, and then as you can see here there is no assignment. You see there is no assignment. There is no assignment on our function call. It then means now on this function is not going to receive anything. So after this statement now we go on top of our main. Like I said on a previous lecture, some people prefer having the function header below the main, but I always like to see my function header above the main function, right? So I come here now on line 4. That's where now I'm going to write my function header. So remember what kind of a function header? What is it that I'm going to start with? What is the definition? Is a non-returning type. So I'm going to have what? Void. All right. And then the name of the function is what? Where do we get the name of a function? We get the name of a function, guys, from the function call. This is where we get the name of the function from the function call. So the name of a function is what? Double. Is double num. All right. Double num. All right, and then now the parameter. How many parameters? I'm having one argument. Remember, argument, number of arguments must correspond to the number of parameters. And then what type of this the data type of this argument is an integer. So I'm going to have int, and then now my parameter is going to be, I can write number, I can say number, and then p. The idea here for me to choose to write this parameter as give it the name of this is remember this is a temporary variable declaration. So I'm just writing int number, I said p. This is not how it should always be, especially this variable name. Remember, a variable name can be any name that you choose. So here I'm just writing it nicely to this has to be different to the variable name of the argument. It has to be different. All right, so that's why I'm just writing number p, the p to differentiate that this is now a parameter. But you can write any name as long as you'll be able to associate them, right? So that's why I'm just deciding, since this was number, so let me just write this as number p. So you remember now it will be easy for you to associate it as the argument that has been passed to it, right? So number p is associated to the argument number. All right, now open the parentheses for my function. So the function, they say it has to do what? Double the value that is passed to it. Now here number is passed to number p. So whatever that was inside number is going to be in our header, is going to be inside our number p. All right, so that means I have to double that number p. Then now I have to declare an integer. I can say int, okay, the double again, the doubled, right? So now this is the declaration. Now the variable that I said is a doubled. Now I can assign it to number, sorry guys, number p multiplied by number p. I'm just doubling 2 times, or you can say multiply by 2. So you see now this was the calculation. I'm just doing whatever, I'm just doing what was required. So required from me. Oh, let me zoom out, guys. I think I've zoomed. So all right, so I chose to declare a variable in my header, so to hold the calculation, right? But it's not always requires that we have to declare a variable that will hold the calculation. But it's always nice as a beginner to always think of creating a storage to store your new calculation. So this is the doubling. Here I'm doubling the value that is being passed to parameter number, passed by an argument number parameter p, sorry. All right, so now after doing the calculation, what is it that is required for me? I should do what? Display it. So when they say display, you just say cout. You can display, you can just write, because now the calculation is being stored inside the number, the variable named the number. So I can say, so the doubled, sorry, I can display the doubled. All right, but there's something that is missing from my main function. Then from my main function below, because this is a main function, so I can mark the end of the program. I can say return this. I was supposed to have this before even going to my header. All right, now I'm saving, so I'm going to run the program and see how it works, guys. Okay, let me first build it, see if I have any error. No error, then I'm running it. You see, please enter integer value of your choice. Then let me just enter 6. all right. Now you see I enter 6, and then now what's the multiple of when you double 6, what do you get? 6 by 6 is what? Is 36. That's why you have 36 here. But now, because we are good programmers, let's just write a statement here to address, to see that, to display before we display that 36. Why is the 36 therefore? So maybe let's just have a statement here saying the doubled value, the doubled value is, and then yes, then now can, all right. So the double value is, and then it's going to display that 36 there. So let's build it, no error, and then let's run it again. Okay, let's enter 6 again. You see the program said the doubled value is 36. Then we are done. So you see here, guys, we are emphasizing a non-returning type of function, where a main function just pass a data, pass an argument carrying a data to a parameter, and then now it passes to a function header, to the parameter of the function header, and then the function header was just displaying, and then the main was not receiving anything back from the header. So this is the idea. Now you see there is no return something here. We are not returning because this is what, this is void. But if you write a different differential here, maybe an int, you'll get errors. So once you are not returning anything, you must always have a void here, guys. So I hope you guys will find this video educational, and please subscribe to my channel so that you'll have an update as I'll be loading more videos as we continue. So thank you guys. For me, Junior, wait for the next lecturer. It's coming soon, just a few minutes after this one. All right, bye for now.